Lesson 88, Containers and Contents. Hello and welcome to this lesson. Today, we are going to talk about containers and their contents, the words we use to describe the different types of containers and what they typically hold. This is very useful vocabulary for everyday situations like shopping, cooking, and organizing things. So, let us get started. Common containers. First, let us look at a list of common containers. These are the words we use to describe the objects that hold things. Bag, barrel, basket, bottle, bowl, box, bucket, can, carton, case, crate, glass, jar, jug, mug, pack, packet, pan, pot, sack, tin, tub, and tube. These words are used in many different contexts, and each one typically holds specific types of contents. More information about these containers. Now, let us look at each container in more detail, what it is usually made of and what it typically contains. Bag, usually made of cloth, paper, or plastic. It typically holds sweets, shopping items, or mail. Barrel, usually made of wood and metal. It typically holds oil, wine, or beer. Basket, usually made of wicker or metal. It typically holds shopping, clothes, or waste paper. Bottle, usually made of glass or plastic. It typically holds milk, lemonade, or wine. Bowel, usually made of china, glass, or wood. It typically holds fruit, soup, or sugar. Box, usually made of cardboard or wood. It typically holds matches, tools, toys, or chocolates. Bucket, usually made of metal or plastic. It typically holds sand or water. Can, usually made of tin. It typically holds cola or beer. Carton, usually made of card. It typically holds milk or juice. Case, usually made of leather, wood, or cardboard. It typically holds jewelry, spectacles, or wine. Crate, usually made of wood or plastic. It typically holds bottles. Glass, usually made of glass. It typically holds milk, water, or wine. Jar, usually made of glass or pottery. It typically holds jam, honey, olives, or instant coffee. Jug, usually made of pottery. It typically holds milk, cream, or water. Mug, usually made of pottery. It typically holds tea, coffee, or cocoa. Pack, usually made of card. It typically holds cards, or 6 cans of cola or beer. Packet, usually made of card, paper, or plastic. It typically holds tea, biscuits, cereal, or crisps. Pan, usually made of metal. It typically holds food that is being cooked. Pot, usually made of plastic, metal, or pottery. It typically holds yogurt, a plant, or paint. Sack, usually made of cloth or plastic. It typically holds coal or rubbish. Tin, usually made of tin. It typically holds tomatoes, sardines, or fruit. Tub, usually made of wood, plastic, or card. It typically holds flowers, rainwater, or ice cream. Tube, usually made of soft metal or plastic. It typically holds toothpaste, paint, or ointment. So, that is our lesson on containers and contents. Learning these words will help you describe objects more precisely and understand everyday language when talking about storage, shopping, and food.